Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So from the chart that I had up yesterday, you guys can see not much has changed. You can see still low volume here, trading on low volume for XRP. XRP trading at about 61 cents, down a little bit. You can see it's still hovering in this zone here, this level of support. We're still waiting for XRP to move up. And you can see here, Bitcoin 2 trading at 37,800. Had a bit of a down day, or is currently expecting a down day today. Nevertheless, we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the last 8 days. 6 have been bullish and 2 have been bearish. So today's day could still change. I think the overall sentiment in the space, though, still very positive for cryptocurrencies. We have not seen those altcoins rally. Right now, altcoins are still trading alongside Bitcoin. So they're losing as Bitcoin is losing, and they're gaining as Bitcoin is gaining. As you guys can see, a bit of a red day today for the crypto space. Some coins down more than others. And the key factor that we should be paying attention to once we do see that sign, the signal that the altcoin rally has commenced, is the Bitcoin dominance. So that has not fallen either. It's actually climbed a little bit, 41.6%. So we're not seeing much movement for Bitcoin, nor are we seeing much movement for XRP. Just still a wait and see game. Nevertheless, some people here on Twitter are giving us some clues as to where Bitcoin could go next. Guys, this is coming from Matt Chang here on Twitter, just hashtagging Bitcoin, bringing us this chart. Now, these are the last 3 bull runs for Bitcoin, and what he is seeing here, he's drawn a trend line from the tops of those impulse moves, and has demonstrated that there is still 1, if not 2, impulse moves to go to the 1.618. So this is from the 2013 Bitcoin rally. The next one here, the 2017 Bitcoin rally here, just tracing that trend line, breaking up above that to the 1.618. And now we have 2022, guys. You guys can see that trend line coming right in at where we are seeing those lows right now. So those lows right in and around here, and we are seeing that trend line just kind of skip. I'm not going to draw the full thing, but just kind of barely touching these right in and around here. So what he's suggesting is that impulse move to the upside. And if you look over here, the 1.618 on the 2022 rally, I mean, this could go into 2023, 2024. I mean, a prolonged Bitcoin bull run, I don't think anybody would be complaining about that, even if we couldn't lock in top profits for another year or two. Seeing Bitcoin continue to go up, taking profits along the way, I think that would be an ideal situation for everyone. The 1.618, though, on this last bull run here would bring us to a price point of about $182,597 for Bitcoin. You guys can see that up there. So that's what Matt's suggesting here. BTC Fuel also just bringing this up for us to take a look at. So in these charts, you can see that after the RSI breakout, an uptrend starts. But for Bitcoin's final run, this lengthening cycle, it also needs to break out on the weekly time frame on the RSI chart. So he has the weekly and the daily time frames up here just to demonstrate that. So down here, let's look at the bottom first. Daily time frame, you can see RSI getting quite low, and what we are to expect, what we've seen in the past usually, is that break to the upside. But we're also seeing it up here, guys, on the weekly chart. So RSI low. We are seeing the Bitcoin chart just set and poised for that uptrend. So another interesting point here. Ivan Mirsky just asking, so what does that mean? That Bitcoin RSI has been experiencing lower highs ever since a year ago. And BTC Fuel just reiterating here on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin has an RSI cool down, an ABC correction. Now it's on the bottom of a falling wedge, so a bullish outbreak is expected this year. I mean, that certainly falls in line with this whole Bitcoin prolonged bull run narrative. We also have the Dark Defender here talking a little bit about XRP, guys. I have zero doubt on XRP's third wave. The later it comes, the bigger it will be. After daily indicators, weekly is also reaching the oversold area. I'm expecting a dramatic crash in the February to March period, guys, so Q1 of 2022 for the stock markets, which will open up the doors for crypto. In XRP, we trust. So he's just looking at this. Third wave will be huge, and as he said, the longer we wait for it, guys, the bigger it will be. So multi-year resistance levels, as I've shown you guys on the XRP chart in the past. We have seen that significant resistance for XRP over the last several years now. Weekly is so close to the oversold after the daily charts as well. So the third wave is coming for XRP. Crypto Bull down here saying in all the years crypto existed, there has never been a time when the stock market crashes and crypto rises. What makes the difference this time? And that's an interesting question, because usually what we do see is we do see stock market crashes, and that has been by and large correlating with the cryptocurrency market. I have the S&P 500 up here just kind of to give you guys some context. We are seeing the S&P in a bit of a free fall. Of course, Friday though, we did see a bullish day. And same with the NASDAQ too. Okay, I've got the NASDAQ up here on the daily, a free fall since about late December. So the NASDAQ has not seen a positive 2022 either. But what Dark Defender says down here, he says, he gives an analogy. So you as a doctor give painkillers to your patient every time by increasing the dose gradually. You know that he has vascular occlusion, so he gets relaxed every time, but one day you know as a doctor the painkillers will kill the body since you increase the dosage. Solution here isn't to suppress the body and lower the fewer, but find a solution for the congestion. Crypto is a solution as the surgery to that man to stay alive. At one point, you kill the body and all collapse. Instead, you must open the vein. So it needs to be different at the end. So what he's saying is, despite a free falling economy, people, investors who are going to be losing money are going to need to find a solution, and they will turn to cryptocurrency. Of course, especially if the dollar is in trouble, they will consider Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a hedge against the dollar. So an interesting observation here from Dark Defender. And I also just wanted to bring this up too, guys, from Dennis Porter here. This is breaking news. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday's video. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner, because yesterday I reported on Arizona. Well, now the senator of Mississippi introduces a bill to recognize Bitcoin in the state code. First it was Arizona, now we're seeing Mississippi follow suit. And a copy of the Senate Bill number 2631, if you guys are interested, to enact a definition of virtual currency. So these guys are also suggesting, okay, maybe we should be recognizing Bitcoin. Arizona yesterday, Mississippi today. My thought on this, and I mean, you guys chime in the comment section, please, if you do have some other thoughts. Could these senators know that the writing is on the wall for the U.S. greenback, and they are introducing these bills to recognize Bitcoin, to accept Bitcoin, in some cases as legal tender, as that alternative before the whole system collapses. Now, this is going on a state-by-state basis, so I'm still wondering, are we going to see more follow suit? Is this going to be a trend? And again, this is just wild speculation from my part. Interesting to see what other people think about this. And, maybe this meme does sum it up quite nicely. Deep Blue Crypto pointing this out: Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Florida, New York. Now Mississippi, states game theory in action, world reserve currency, US dollar system. Of course, this is a Trojan horse. States declaring Bitcoin legal tender, and then the bills get approved. And so we know cryptocurrency is going to be legalized in one way, shape, or form. Michael at Val5 Links bringing us this article here. According to American Banker, 44% of financial institution executives aim to offer cryptocurrency services for retail clients by the end of this year, guys. So the most current batch of American Banker's forecast for 2022 was released, and the findings of a survey of 175 top banking executives from regional and worldwide financial institutions were unexpected. And so here is some data down here, crypto data for wealth management. No, and no plans to do so. No, but we plan to do so in 2022. That would be a yes. Do you advise your clients on crypto holdings? So the overwhelming majority says no, we do not. However, 44 expect to be advising clients on crypto by the end of 2022. And on top of that, 33% of financial managers expect to actively manage their clients' Bitcoin portfolios, up from only 13% at present day. In 2022, 60% of wealth management advisors polled expected their customers to grow their crypto holdings or begin investing in digital assets. So I think this, guys, has a lot to do with what we're seeing here, okay? Bitcoin being implemented on the state level by certain states in the United States. Of course, the economy not in great shape because of the beer flu primarily, but that a chain reaction of events, globalist monsters trying to destroy the financial system, trying to usher in a new financial system with CBDCs and the like. So I think there's going to be a lot of heartache, unfortunately, before we get to the good stuff. And so, this idea that the Bitcoin bull run is going to continue, it is seeming more and more likely as the days go on. And, more evidence suggesting that we will see Bitcoin price continue to rise all throughout 2022 and 2023. I mean, the American Bankers Association is not seeing a slowdown anytime soon. So that is just another sign of what could be coming down the pipe. I also saw this, guys, from Crypto Eddie, Department of Justice, January 31st, 2022. Here is the proposed regulations. Requires banks and money service businesses to submit reports, keep records, and verify customer identities. Get this, guys, not just for your exchanges, but involving convertible virtual currencies held in unhosted, otherwise known as self-custody wallets. And so she just adds the screen grab here. FinCEN is proposing to amend the regulations implementing the Bank Security Act to require banks and money service businesses to do just that. So now they want your information even if you self-custody on a Ledger Nano or something similar. Benjamin S. down here saying, this is exactly what I expected. Mandatory KYC is a reasonable expectation if we're going to be using public ledgers like the XRPL. And he explains more here. You can link to his TikTok video here. USA is going to become deserted, says Capitano. Ricardo Francis Caruso, I personally know one couple had a nice winery nearby who permanently emigrated out of the US to Sicily because of too much federal government interference. Even had drones flying over their grape farm. He is an electric engineer and her an RN. They were just living off the grid. So, some interesting perspectives here from different people in the crypto community. Of course, wanted to thank Crypto Eddie because if it is going down this way, we've got to, check our options, see what the best possibilities are for us. Maybe moving out of the country. I've talked to some people who have left their home countries because of this type of thing. And for many reasons, of course, everybody's got their own reasons. More control, though, by government, more surveillance by government. This is definitely not a good thing. The reason we all got into cryptocurrency, obviously, was because of the independence. The markets march to the beat of their own drum. And, with more cryptocurrency adoption comes regulation, which isn't, it's a double-edged sword. I'm going to say it isn't necessarily all a bad thing. But at the same time, if we're going to be part of quote unquote their system and play by their rules, well, we know they rig the system. We know they cheat all the time. So, getting in super early, which I know a lot of us have, we had a good opportunity. We took it. And so, do you take the money and run? Do you wait for that last final pump? Do you have plans, guys? Put it down in the comments if you have something interesting, maybe some plans after you cash out the full enchilada. And so this guy's from DJ Peter Vass. Of course, I did talk about this in a previous video, how there was an organization that was actually critical of the Digital Pound Foundation and a CBDC. They were kind of catching on to the surveillance aspect and governments having more control. But DJ Peter Vass pointed this out. This is just an article just summing up what the Digital Pound Foundation has been doing over the last several months. Down here, they say that, they actually mention Ripple in this article here, right in the first paragraph, and Accenture being one of the early partners of Ripple. I'll leave this article in the description of the video. We do know that the Pound Foundation Ripple did join back in the fall of last year. And despite the evidence on CBDCs, the House of Lords Economic Affairs Committee published Central Bank Digital Currencies, a solution in search of a problem. They did that back earlier this month, while appearing to pour lukewarm water on the concept, talking about the surveillance, government control, so on and so forth. CBDC and digital money and digital asset projects, initiatives, and businesses will take time to implement and grow. In 2022, we can expect less hype and more concrete intent to materialize value and benefit for pioneers. Environmental, social, and governance topics will play an increasingly important role. Combining these topics may create an optimal mix as pilots and live implementations and projects gain momentum. So they're not stopping this project anytime soon. I had a feeling they would not. They've got a lot of money invested in this. And so the Digital Pound Foundation, just to let you guys know, they are working with Ripple in order to implement a CBDC for the UK. So that's interesting. Coming back to the US, I got this from John Deaton. Danger. So he's warning all us XRP hodlers. The proposal also asserts that the new definition will overrule previous SEC no-action letters and guidance. I guess I should tell you what this is about. Karabos Foshoko here on Twitter posted this initially. Sounds like the SEC is setting itself up to call all cryptos securities. If this is not opposed, it will effectively kill the entire industry. Could this set an international precedent? Your take. And so he was retweeting this out to Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton here. And John Deaton essentially exclaiming, danger. The proposal also asserts that the new definition will overrule previous SEC no-action letters and guidance, assuring certain kinds of systems are not security exchanges. Gary Gensler intends to renege on no-action letters to protect the banks from DeFi. So, it sounds like there's a purpose for why he's doing this, but if they deem all cryptocurrencies securities and essentially overrule all the no action letters that they have provided in the past. What does this mean for the rest of crypto holders like you and me? Maybe we hold other altcoins that could be subject to this. Now, utility obviously down here, I think he brings up a good point. This is all by design to usher in the ISO 20022 standard. So he just posts a couple of screen grabs here just demonstrating what their problem is. Of course, cryptocurrency is used for terrorism. At least this is what they're claiming. Understanding the rise of DeFi and D-crime, right? Decentralized finance is definitely a threat to banks. So crime, corruption, IMF warns of global risks from unregulated crypto boom. Why we need new rules and tools for cryptocurrencies. That coming from the World Economic Forum. Also this from Reuters, El Salvador, Bitcoin move, open banks to money laundering, terrorism, financing risks, etc. So that's the problem they have, and the solution? The ISO 20022 standard. Now, the benefit of this is that Ripple and XRP, the first company that has jumped onto the standard, and so this just gives some information about how to migrate to ISO 20022, the timeline here, introduction to ISO 20022 for U.S. financial institutions, SWIFT issues guiding principles for screening ISO 20022. So I will leave this in the description. That could be the very obvious problem and solution. However, if the SEC were to call all crypto securities, what are the ramifications and how will it affect crypto prices? So I saw this from DJ Peter Vass. So there's a few things here we have to be paying attention to. This article is quite a lengthy article. I will link it in the description for those of you guys interested. How will crypto regulation affect investors? And so essentially this just essentially says that crypto regulation will be good by and large to protect investors, but also to protect from scams, money laundering, so on and so forth. Also though, and I think this is the big important point that I have talked about on this channel, but I want to reiterate because it is mentioned in this article. The kinds of money that we are going to see in a regulated cryptocurrency industry are going to far outweigh what we have seen currently. Right now, the crypto market sits at about 1.7 trillion. We could see this number go up 5x, 10x, 20x. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, really eager to get into cryptocurrency. And so they are saying that ultimately with regulatory clarity, we are going to see that money flow in. Now, when I scroll down here, and again, I'm just giving you guys the highlighted points that I noticed from this article, the Securities and Exchanges Commission, the SEC, so they're saying that they've been paying attention to crypto from an investment perspective, and in particular, how it can boost investor protections in the space. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler, who has previously referred to crypto as a highly speculative asset class, has said that while there are no plans for the SEC to ban cryptocurrencies, digital assets need to be addressed in public policy frameworks. And so hence, guys, here we are. Ripple is in court with the SEC, and Gary Gensler has said, on the record, we do not plan to ban cryptocurrencies, but there does need to be a framework. So going back to this, is it that the SEC is setting itself up to call all crypto securities, and what does that mean? So in my mind, a crypto security has to be classified under a very distinct set of rules. I know that Jay Clayton has gone on the record and said essentially all ICOs would be considered securities, and therefore, they have a problem there with the Ethereum Foundation and the ETH token. So that's something to think about. Would it kill an entire industry? I mean, there are so many high-profile investors that do want to get into this, and Bitcoin isn't the only cryptocurrency that they want to get into. A lot have been eyeing the Algorand Foundation and the Algo token. We know Grayscale, I mentioned this just yesterday. In yesterday's video, Grayscale has just approved, or rather has been considering 25 new cryptocurrencies to add to their holdings, and they deal with institutional investors. So, I don't think that we're getting the full story here. I do not think that the SEC can and will necessarily. I mean, they're going to try to go after as many of the smaller tokens as possible, saying they're securities. I think the ICO point, though, what many cryptocurrency companies do, they offer an initial coin offering to help fund the project. That, I think, by definition, does fall within that could be a security. My point of view, I think the SEC is going to target those particular companies, and this is exactly what they're trying to argue in court right now. Ripple sold XRP as a security, but I mean, guys, shouldn't we be taking it from David Schwartz? I mean, he spells it clear as day. And this was back from 2019. Tag XRP here brought this to my attention. David Schwartz says, you will not find any individual who bought XRP because they wanted Ripple to have money to do stuff to enrich them. So this is the whole point of the ICO. We were financed by venture capital. There was no ICO. You got to remember, before Ripple even existed, there was a company called OpenCoin that created the cryptocurrency. The crux of an ICO, David Schwartz goes on to say, is that It's a way for a project to raise funds, like Ethereum. You buy tokens in an ICO so that the project will be able to continue. Ripple was VC/angel funded from day one, and nobody could have bought XRP with a motive of funding us to do things for them. By contrast, when I bought Ethereum, David Schwartz says, in the initial offering, I was doing it because, at least in part, I wanted the project to have funds to build something, and the project needed those funds to build. That is what made it an ICO. And David Schwartz mentioning this back in 2019, about a year before the lawsuit was even mentioned by Jay Clayton against Ripple and XRP. So I think David Schwartz does spell it out clear as day here. Gotta thank Tag XRP for pointing that out. So will the price rise, guys? Does Ripple still have a very good chance in court? I do think so. I think Ripple's got a great chance in court. A lot of information suggesting not a security. They are fighting. They have the resources, the money to fight the SEC. And again, we gotta pay attention to the entire picture. Regulation, good, because money will flow into the market. That's what's going to give demand to the coins that solve problems, the coins that are finally regulated, and eventually we will get a verdict in the United States. Just be aware, though, guys, of what you hold, because it does sound like the SEC could be cracking down on cryptos. If you hold a crypto that was initially an ICO, so a company could fund the project, you might want to think twice. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.